We are a small team of a single data scientist and some business intelligence analysts at the City of Edmonton. Our mandate and our mission is to provide insights and predictive or descriptive analytics to improve city operation and hopefully the lives change or impact the lives of citizens at the City of Edmonton. So we have two arms at the City of Edmonton. One of them is developing analytics, both BI, business intelligence, and advanced analytics. And the second arm is focusing on improving the culture of analytics at the City of Edmonton and also among citizens at in Edmonton. So traditionally, municipalities and governmental organizations have done a good job on what happened, developing dashboards on SAP, on multiple tools. So up to 2010, 2011, even now, we have a fairly good idea of what's happening. We have tools and understanding. Our focus is past that. Our focus is what will happen. Can we provide predictions? Can we provide descriptive analytics, predictive analytics on the data that we have? So I will be showing you a bunch of tools that we have, websites and so forth. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of slides. So first thing, how many people have heard about Open Data Edmonton or Open Data Catalog? So quite a few. We have at the City of Edmonton, and I think hopefully that is true for any government organization, we think the data is open by default. So any data at the City of Edmonton, drainage, construction projects, accidents, bylaw infractions and so forth, it should be open to public. If it is not, perhaps there is an issue with legal issue, privacy, FOIP and so forth. Otherwise, it should be open. And we have over 800 data sets on the Open Data Catalog, and I highly recommend that you go in and search for the things that you are interested in. I don't know the background in this audience, but I would assume all of us share this curiosity of what data is available out there. Can I use this data to check the hypothesis that I have? Can I use this data to perhaps provide some insight or test the idea that I have? So you can search here. One of the very high traffic data sets that we have, and you can see what people have looked at. So one of the data sets that people look at is obviously census data. This is the latest census, 2014 municipal census, and it includes practically every question that is asked on census data. What is the distribution of age distribution across the City of Edmonton per neighborhood? What's the language people speak? What is their nationality? Are they homeowner? What's their employment status? What is the mode of transportation that these people use? And you can look into this, each data set, and this is a framework that is very flexible. You can import the data in multiple forms. You can export it to a CSV file. You can export it to XML. If you're writing an application or a web application or mobile or desktop application, you can connect to the API, and there is documentation. It is very easy to use JSON and some technology to connect to it. So a lot of data sets here, and it is not only flat data files. You can look at charts that are already built here, or maps, for example, related to census, or any topic that you're interested in. The second thing that I'd like you to look at, perhaps, is our website that we launched recently, a few weeks ago, ace.edmonton.ca. On this website, we provide multiple dashboards on data from the city. So one of the data set, so perhaps the value of data and analytics becomes more apparent when you are integrating data sets from multiple resources. It is, everyone can answer this question: what is the population of 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 in Edmonton? Yeah, it's good, but it's not earth-shattering. It becomes, I think, more interesting when you integrate this data with, for example, unemployment or other layers of data. So we have a visualization open analytics map. It includes hundreds of data layers, and you can choose which layer you want to be overlaid to another layer. In essence, you are putting multiple features or multiple data layers together. For example, if we wanted to look at age population, and let's say I want to see the age population between, I actually should, so the age population between 25 to 50, and I want to see, so this will tell you, for example, the red shows a higher intensity, the values are normalized between 0 to 100, and you want to see what is within this population, who speaks French? No, you want to see within this population the unemployment rate. So in essence, you are searching, or you are looking at different indicators overlapping each other. Perhaps another category of data sets that this audience is very interested in is survey data. We have enormous number of surveys at the City of Edmonton, but to be honest with you, perhaps we haven't done a great job of interpreting these census results or telling past that what people said. 80% said they are happy. Okay. That's good, but how can we use this? Or how can we make something very easy to understand for a layman person? So we have done some work on census, and you can pick questions, you can look at the mean, some statistics on survey data. And this is not by any means complete because we have, again, enormous number of surveys at the City of Edmonton, and I refer you to the Open Data Catalog. The other data set that perhaps is very interesting for this audience is data set on housing and the work that we can do with housing data. So for every property at the City of Edmonton, we have assessment data for 2015, and what you can do is perhaps find the pockets of very inexpensive housing and see if there is a pattern or not. And you can put this side by side by other indicators. For example, the unemployment rate across the City of Edmonton. You can either overlay it, or you can look at them side by side and run it through this. I also co-advised a machine learning course last semester where a group of students looked at this data, used some data from scraping other websites to come up with a prediction model to predict housing prices. And perhaps this can help if it has some business applications, but it will help us to find what are the factors that impact the housing prices, or a better understanding of housing at the City of Edmonton. I'd like to wrap up with, so we have built multiple dashboards that are not accessible to this level, but we can use them in household level at the City of Edmonton. But we can publish these dashboards on neighborhood level. We cannot publish it on household level because of privacy issues. And that would include all incident data across the City of Edmonton. That would be bylaw infractions. And you can look at, for example, bylaw distribution of those infractions. Where do I have high intensity of some type of bylaw infraction? I can look at one category and again look at this side by side by some other factor, age distribution, unemployment, housing prices, and so forth. And we have done this with many data sets. Data sets that are that are coming from census, demographics, housing, so forth. Data sets that are related to incidents like what I showed you, bylaw, even 911 calls, and so forth, or fire. And we have also done some work on businesses across the City of Edmonton. So where do I have a higher number of businesses? I should have told you, so a lot of analytics that we do at the City of Edmonton are more granular than neighborhood. So traditionally, the data is collected, reported, and most often presented on neighborhood level, because that's the way it's been working for years. But we think that's perhaps not the best way of looking at the data. The political or geographical boundaries are not the best slicing and dicing of data. So most often, because we have access to lat longs of data, we can look at more granular data. In this visualization, we are looking at blocks of 250 by 250. We are aggregating the number of businesses in each block. So how many businesses do I have in that block? Let's zoom in, for example, to White Avenue. And I can see that value. Again, that is a value that is normalized between 0 to 100. And I can also look at diversity or different types of businesses in that area. And the last thing is, if you work for an agency, if you work for some group and you have access to some data that is considered open data, and you're looking for a reliable location, a reliable host to host your data, make it accessible to citizens, I suggest you talk to us because there is a good chance that we can host that data in this platform. It is searchable. It's a full framework that you don't have to worry about backing up the data, running or keeping the servers up, anything like that. Everything is done in this framework, and people can use it the way they like it, in CSV or charting and so forth. If you have any questions, please send us an email at ace@edmonton.ca. And again, please visit our website. I think there are interesting dashboards and tools that are perhaps very interesting for this audience.